Hey folks, it's Mr. K305. Gracias por estar otra vez conmigo soñando con Mr. K305. Hoy es una entrevista muy especial que vamos a conocer uno de mi amigo Esco, que tiene una historia increíble. También, como dicen los americanos, un entrepreneur que está haciendo unas cosas que van a verlo bien pronto, que está tomando el mundo por fuego. Entonces, gracias Esco por estar con nosotros hoy.
Gracias, un placer estar aquí con ustedes.
Gracias, mi amigo. Tú sabes que para mí es muy importante. Algo que quiero empezar a darle agradecimiento a nuestros sponsors es a Urgent Credit Solutions. Gracias por permitirme estar aquí. A AM Capital Consulting Team, a Mr. K305 Business y también a Unsupervised, la ropa exclusiva que viene de Miami para el mundo. Y también le queremos dar un agradecimiento a Bay 13 por dejarnos permitir estar en este lugar tan precioso y hacer esta entrevista con mi amigo Esco. So we got to go straight to the point, brother.
Let's go.
We've been talking for some deep stuff, man.
Yeah. It's been over the whole weekend. We've been getting deep. Nice.
And I've been getting to know you because you have an amazing story. So before we start, we can be English, Spanish. Acá hablamos, estamos en Miami, entonces las personas que nos están escuchando, no importa en qué parte del mundo nos están escuchando, siéntese incómodo, porque algo que lo va a sentir en cuanto a seguir soñando y manteniendo esos sueños vivos para llegar a tu realidad. Dino Esco, tell me a little bit who Esco is.
Bueno, Esco is becoming an entrepreneur. Started from Dominican Republic. Una familia de 5. We came into the state at a young age. Through the process, I've been learning how to and falling in love more with the journey of what eventually ended up being at Shapu, where I'm at right now.
That's fantastic, and I know I met you a while back as one of the, I would say one of the exclusive barbers here in Miami. Una de las cosas que me encantó de Esco, que lo conocí, que nos conocimos como, me llegó a la oficina mía, nos conocimos. Trabaja con muchos profesionales aquí en los Estados Unidos, aquí en Miami. Entonces tuve una oportunidad de conocer que también estabas empezando una nueva marca que es Shampoo.
Sí.
Tiene un poquito más de esa marca.
Bueno, Shampoo es una marca we want to focus mainly in the shaving business, on the shaving side. We're gonna expand that to more, but when I started the company, what I wanted to do is create something not just that what barbers want, algo que el barbers needed.
Right.
So I started brainstorming, and then I figured, like, us barbers, we need blades every week. That's where it all started. And then now, as we're growing and growing more, as faster than what I believed I was going to be at right now, now we're trying to focus on the consumer side. So we're trying to get in everybody's home.
Yeah, and I think that's a growing pain that is, I will embrace it because I know we've been having conversations and where your business is going. What are the challenges right now that you're seeing as an entrepreneur that you can talk to other people and say, you know what, yeah, that's what we're going through? Because as a business owner and as someone that's in the industry, right, because you're a professional barber, you're not only barber, you're like the barber down here, right? And also coming up with a brand. What are the things that you think is challenging that I think some people should hear, and how you're overcoming that?
Well, the transition, as for me, is the challenge. The transition in the growing process. Just because, like you said, I'm still cutting celebrities. I still like cutting my clients. I love coming to you, having these conversations. So it's honestly very tough for me to stay back from the haircutting side, because I also treat that as a networking time out. You know what I mean? So implementing my day with the networking side of that with Shapu, it's like me splitting myself in two every day. But eventually, I know as Shapu is growing, I'm gonna have to fall back a little bit more on the cutting hair.
Absolutely. So one thing I would tell you is, so going back a little bit to your personal side, where did you develop your thought about, hey, I want to be a professional high-end barber, I want to get to become an entrepreneur? You're from New York, right? Tell me a little bit about that story. A little bit about your growing up. You got to give us a little bit of a little scoop about Esco.
Well, I was born in Dominican Republic, like I was saying earlier. My family, my grandma,
Okay.
came into the States when I believe before I was even born. But she used to also have a home in Dominican Republic where she used to go back and forth. In the house that we was living in, one of the rooms was set up as a salon. And as a kid, we don't think about what the purpose of that room was, whatever. We just see machines, we just see ladies going in there getting their hair done. So eventually my grandma ends up staying full time in the States, in the United States, but she also has a salon here. My grandma eventually brought us from Dominican Republic, and my parents were working like crazy just to have a good household for us. So me, my brother, my sister, we used to go to her salon after school, and we used to wait for my parents until my parents get out of work. And while we was there, I used to always grab the clippers, always play around with the clippers. I never even thought about that I had a passion for it. So then as time went on, we ended up going to school. We ended up going throughout the years. I would cut my little cousins. I would cut my big cousin, my brother, people from church. And I went to high school. When I went to high school, I remember I went to a vocational school. And every 2 weeks in the vocational school, we would switch different how can I say, academics, just to find out what interests us as we go older, like as a career-wise. Whatever class I didn't like, I will always ask the guidance counselor, can I go back to the cosmetology class? Just because I already had the feel of playing with the clippers and stuff like that. All right, so time went on. We got out of school. We went through that stage of what a lot of people fall in, doing the wrong things in the streets. But I will always get jobs and not stick to it, but always cut hair as well. Then eventually I got in trouble with the law, and when I got out, I was supposed to get a job. I figured, I'm just gonna go to the barbershop, cut hair. I did that. A good friend of mine named Juan, he pretty much mentored me with the hair cutting. Then eventually I ended up moving to Florida. When I moved to Florida, I linked up with a good friend of mine. A lot of people know him as Pacino. His name is Eric. I noticed he was more of the organized barber in the business owner, I guess you could say, in the barber industry, which he ran his business of like the nightclubs and stuff like that, but also the barbershop side.
Right.
And I started paying attention to him. We became really good friends, and I started paying attention of how professional he was moving. He wasn't the ordinary dude from the hood that I was used to.
Right.
So I figured, okay, if I bring my hustler mentality into this, I could get it to the point that he's at. At this point, he was already traveling with Puff Daddy.
Okay.
He was traveling with him. He was cutting Nas. He was, he was doing his thing, with the celebrities.
Sure.
So, just like any mentor is, if they have went through those steps and they reach a certain level, they are able to point out who's hungry enough. And I guess that's what he's seen in me. So he started coaching me on how to get with these guys, putting me on. And eventually my first client was Nas.
Okay.
And then from Nas, eventually I started growing, cutting on more celebrities, and then that's when the professional side of
entrepreneurship,
cutting hair came along. And then from there, I seen Pacino started growing his own brand.
Yeah.
And then me seeing his process, it's like we talk all the time. Good energy always attracts. Law of attraction always attracts. So him growing his brand and me paying attention to that is what made me feel like, okay, the hustler side of me was like, okay, let me build something that not that people want, something that people need. And this is where I thought about the blade.
Right.
Every week, people got to buy a box of
Barbers
blades.
need that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's where it all started for me. Shapu started in 2016.
So do you think, first of all, I know I've seen Pacino's grow, and we've talked about how proud we are as a Latino, as a family guy, as an entrepreneur. So if Pacino's listening, man, I want to say something. Congratulations for all your accomplishments. You have a true ambassador here. He cares a lot about you, and he talks, obviously, we all seen it worldwide, your accomplishments. So congratulations. Do you think that barbershop or being a barber was like your gateway?
To be honest with you, being a barber, the craziest part of it is, ironically, I feel like it's in the blood. From my father's side, I have 4 or 5 cousins that are barbers, even an uncle, which randomly we all started doing it around the same time without even consulting with each other about it. It just ended up happening. I got cousins in Jersey, I got cousins in Orlando right now, like they own barbershops and stuff like that, and it's
in the family.
It's in the family, so I feel like, I guess it was part of what I was supposed to do.
But you're taking it to different levels, bro. There's a lot of barbers out there, but you're taking it to like another level that I congratulate that, man.
Thank you. The reason why is just because I love the way I can make somebody feel. Somebody could come and be in a bad mood, have a bad day. The minute they get the right haircut, the good conversation, they feel like they could go to whatever club and leave out with whatever woman they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of those things that everybody always think that they talk their secrets to the barber, man.
Exactly.
Like the psychologists and psychiatrists.
Yeah.
And then you're giving something like the new brand Shapu that we're going to talk a little bit more about that. You're bringing not only solutions to the barbers, but also to the consumer, because there's not a shortage of your need. So when you went from the barber, I want to get ahead to my game because everybody knows I'm a little ADD.
No.
Oh, by the way, bro, let's cheers. Let's cheers to my boy.
Thank you.
So you went from a barber to talking, you're doing high end, you're doing celebrities, you're having a great coach. But who was your role model? They said when you were growing up, who do you say, you know what, I want to, this is that's driving me, that's helping me go to the next level? Was it Pacino? Was it somebody else? Was it someone you spoke with?
Well, first and foremost, it's like my dad. My dad, we came and he was working in a factory. He was working all day. As a kid, I wasn't able to see him enough, but as time went on, I started understanding the hard work that he was putting in. So I figured, like, okay, in order to provide for your family, that's gonna be like what's the first thing that is gonna needs to take place is the hard work. Then throughout time, I came, well, not that I came from, but I was spending a lot of times in the streets, so listening to music and stuff like that. Jay-Z always played in my mind, every story that he had, and I felt like, man, if this guy came from the projects and he's moving like this, it's an eye-opener. Then I linked up with Pacino, and then Pacino was like the closest thing at the time that
you talk to me like he's almost like your brother.
He's a big brother.
Yeah.
He is a big brother.
Yeah, you guys are close.
Real close, yeah. So then that gateway right there made me see the connection to the celebrity side. Now, the thing about when I started linking up with celebrities is the relationship, or when I started seeing the lifestyle that they was having, it was something that was doable. It's not that we tend to see things through TV and social media, and we kind of see it like it's too far apart.
Yeah.
And I started realizing that it's like some of these things is doable. And I also started realizing around these people, the conversation that was going on and all that it all comes down to believing in yourself. Believing in yourself, understanding that nothing can stop you. If you put your mind into it, like nothing could actually stop it.
That's one of the conversations we were having, Esco, about the law of attraction. That your perception of something can become your reality as long as you put your first foot forward. And one of the things that I've noticed from you from the get-go is your positive attitude. Now, coming from Dominican Republic, going to your right, the right people around you that's motivating you. What lessons have you learned on the way to now that's put Esco where he's at now?
Well, it's always is as for me, what has worked for me is understanding your surrounding. Understanding your surrounding. Something you have even told me is, understanding some people are here to stay, some people are not. There's chapters in our life. When you start looking at life, I look at life between the lines. Like you could tell me something straightforward, but we all have different perspective on things. So you have to see what ends up working for you. As for me, it's always been, if you want to grow to a certain level, you got to surround yourself around certain people. You know what I mean? There's some people that they're not in the same mindset as you. That if you keep that in mind of the mentality, doesn't mean that you got to forget about them. But not everybody is meant to go to the same place. You know what I mean? Some people are not meant to be entrepreneurs. Some people are not meant to be business owners. Right. But some people are just good friends. Yeah. So you got to know how to position everybody up.
I think one of the conversations we had in the past is people sometimes are there for a season.
Exactly.
Right? And we have to show gratitude to that and appreciate that. And sometimes there's some friends, man, that you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose because they're with you, and sometimes the mentality is like, if I'm not gonna win, if it's not for me, and they sometimes hold you down, and you start realizing who your friends are. And I think that's an entrepreneur. That's something that we have to accept, right? And not giving up. Now, shampoo is about to go international. So tell me a little bit about the creation of shampoo and where is that right now? Well, where is it going to be at?
Well, shampoo, as we're scratching the surface of international already. As we speak, we selling in Taiwan, we selling in Mexico, we're selling in Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. By the grace of God, everything's moving forward. We're now trying to expand like full blown, and also switching over to the consumer side. So we just don't want to put shampoo in a position where it's just for barbers. We also want everybody to fall in love with it.
So what's cool about that brand is that you understand that industry because you're a barber. I mean, you work with high-end clients. You know what their needs are, and you come out with a need, which is shampoo, which is, bro, it's sexy. You have some of that product. Let's show some of that. Let's go and get that.
Yes.
Let's show that. Nice. So you got the disposable shampoo. I love the look, brother. Guys, shampoo, you saw it here, right here with my boy Esco. Giving solutions, man. This is awesome. What do you have there?
These are the disposable. This was what we started off with. To go on the consumer side, we started off with the twin blades, and that way we're gonna move them up to like the 5 blades, 6 blades. We also doing subscription with these. You could get the subscription every 15 days, every 30 days, however you would like it. 5 of them come in a pack. You could get them online on shapu.shop, also on walmart.com. And then these are the disposable one.
Nice.
This was the Shapu's first baby. So this one was is a double-edged blade. A lot of barbers get like the double-edged blades. The thing about this, the reason why it has been growing so much in the barber community is just because, as you guys know by now, I'm a barber. So what I ended up doing is going according to what us barbers be asking for. The way the blade feels, the way if it's hard, if it's too thin, if it gives skin irritation. So I did all that homework, and I found the right manufacturing company to do it exactly how we want it to be. Us barbers, we have companies like other blade companies out there, but they're not in our industry, so they don't know exactly what we want. So that was my advantage, my introduction into a barber doing the blade company in the barber industry.
So I want to talk to you for a minute. I want you to take a pause and just understand who we have beside us. A guy that's a gentleman, a friend of mine, a man, a father, a son, a husband, a Latino that came with the dream and is actually creating that dream to come true. And he did it from just starting that dream and doing world-class service, doing the right relationships, getting to know the right people. But also, there's nothing is easy. There's certain struggles in life. We've been talking about that. I know that a lot of you guys are going through some struggles. I know a lot of you guys have this dream, but your dreams will become your reality. I want to say, man, I just meeting your wife earlier. It just, I didn't want to say this, but it just moved me because it's so real. I mean, you're a father, you're a husband, you're doing so many amazing things, brother. You got a brand, and you got to be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
I think a lot of things that we look back and their families will be thankful for the struggles. A lot of people look at the end result and they think it's easy, and they go, "Oh, it's easy," and then when they're not willing to do it because then they think it's hard. It's the opposite.
Yes.
They look at something, it's easy. And then when they say, "Well, you do it." "No, it's hard. It's a mountain."
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a little bit of an inch. It's a little bit of just making that twitch into your life and making that change of your mind. Okay? You're the only person that's going to stop you. You have a successful person that's just doing amazing things. And he's just starting, folks. Literally just starting. And I just want to say thank you so much. It meant so much to me just to get to meet you, be able to call you my friend. I know that there's a lot of people that have been in that position that they just give up, and you haven't. You have overcome, and you're going to continue overcoming, right?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I did too much so far to just quit.
So I want to ask you one before we leave. We got time when you're having fun flies. To that young entrepreneur, with that young guy that was you a few years ago, what message can you tell them from your experiences that's going to make him motivate, to make him think? What's the message you have for, no matter if it's a girl or a guy, whatever it is, Latino, Chinito, lo que sea, right? What message can you give them?
Honestly, it's like the way I look at it is fall in love with your dream. And when I say fall in love with your dream is go for something that you know that is you. It's not going to be a job. The process is not going to be a job. The process, you're not going to see it as it's a burden.
Yeah.
It's a journey. It's your journey. We got to understand that everybody has a story.
Yes.
So understand your journey is your story. Nothing in life is going to be easy, and what's worth in life never comes easy. The price is always going to be rewarding at the end. So never quit, never fall back, never say, "Yo, I cannot do this." This is your story. At the end of the day, we want to see your goal, and at the end, we want to see your movie.
En latino se dice, "Dime con quién andas, diré con quién eres," ¿verdad? And life is just embrace the journey. Because you're going to look back, and one thing that I've noticed in my journey, I'm still growing, and we're always thinking about the next thing, the next project is, you start going, man, that was the funnest part of my life. You know, and sometimes we're like so overstressed, and you're like, man, let me pause and just thank God that gave me the opportunity to make a difference, because really you're also making a difference in the community, Esco. Why? Because you're getting people's mind and motivating, seeing you as a role model, right? Like what I was talking about you earlier about paying it forward, about, being there for someone. That's what you're doing, right? So, hay algo para mí muy especial conocer personas como tú en la historia, right? Porque te vengo a hablar en español. No importa dónde te se encuentren, no importa si estás en México, en Costa Rica, en Colombia, en la República Dominicana, no importa lo que sea, sigan soñando, porque esos sueños van a ser realidad. Una última cosa que quiero preguntarte, Esco. There's a lot of people you want to say thank to, right? I'm sure there's maybe one or two. And they're standing right there in front of you. They're right there. What are the thank yous you give? I'm sure there's one maybe Pacino, some other ones, maybe
yes.
Your father that was there in the beginning with you.
My father, my mom, my kids, my lady, Margie. You already know, like the man. I'm a huge headache to deal with. Soy un dolor de cabeza bien grande, pero ella me ha aguantado muchísimo, ella me da energía, ella siempre me habla. Y amigos como ustedes, porque realmente cuando alguna vez uno se siente cansado, amigos como José, es que me da la energía y me hace pensar y me hace, como diciéndome una tarea, like another homework, como que yo pensaba que estaba aquí, pero él me está echándome para el otro nivel.
You know, and one of the things too, we had this dinner the other night is having a powerful woman, right? When you're an entrepreneur, man, you gotta get your stuff right. You gotta get your stuff right. And have that great partner as a strong woman, because I said something about my wife, how they've been there, they understand this, they have that passion. Te digo, aunque la conocí hace un momento, aquí tienes un buen esposo, un buen papá, que de verdad te aprecia, and that's what a man is all about, an entrepreneur. So guys out there that want to take the next level, you gotta look beside you and say thank you to that person who's been with you. It's such an amazing conversation to have, bro. What an awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Amazing, man.
Always love, man. Muchas gracias por todo y muchas gracias, Mr. 305, el mejor de arreglarte los créditos aquí.
Gracias.
No nada más aquí, sino donde usted está.
Una de las cosas que tengo que hablar es, para mí me da pasión ayudar a muchos entrepreneurs a llegar a su nivel. Si usted se encuentra perdido y si usted quiere llegar al próximo nivel, no importa su crédito personal o cosas que quizás han pasado en su pasado, decisiones que han sido difíciles y hasta afectado tu crédito o tu crédito de negocio, que es tu identidad, ¿verdad? Para llegarte al próximo nivel, donde estamos con Esco, por favor, comunícase conmigo ahora, porque me encanta siempre ayudar a la gente y poder hacer una diferencia en tu vida. Don't quit. Don't give up. There's always solutions out there. Let me help, or hire somebody, or find somebody that's going to be able to position you to get you to the next level. But one of the biggest thing is keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming, because that's where it starts. But the reality will come true once you put the first foot forward. Thank you, Esco, again for being with me today.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's a blessing.
We're gonna have to do a thing that, you know what I gotta do before we leave? After cameras, I gotta get that box. I need your signature, and I'm gonna put it in a very special place in my office. Because we're gonna make it happen.
Thank you, thank you.
Señores, otra vez le quiero dar gracias a Urgent Quest Solutions, a EM Capital Consulting Team, a Mr. 305 Business, también a Unsupervised y nuestros amigos de Bay 13 por darnos esta preciosa comida, nuestros traguitos en este evento tan grande. Gracias por toda la gerencia aquí, por permitirme estar aquí. Otra vez le doy las gracias por estar conmigo. Hasta la próxima semana, en el mismo canal. Siguen soñando con Mr. Credit 305.